What's up, peeps, and welcome to a returning. And people have been asking for us to come back for a while. Bats, balls, and belts. Where did bats, balls, and belts come from, you ask? Literally, I was standing at Angel Stadium one day on a Wednesday at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, bored out of my mind, had nothing to do. I was blocking the gate. That's all I was doing. So I grabbed a napkin. I was currently doing a music show at that time, and I decided, what else can I do? Something different, something fun. And I just started writing sports stories on a napkin. I wrote them on the napkin. I did about 80 episodes later. And then I picked up my partner down here, Gilbert A. Plus Asensio. We did another 30 episodes, almost 150 episodes later. Bats, Balls, and Belts was a favorite on Facebook, on Instagram. We just kept doing it. And then, life hit me and G, and we decided to take a break. It's been about 2 years, G. 2 years, brother.
Yeah, roughly about 2 years.
Yeah, it's been about 2
years. But
doesn't
it feel like it's been that long because we just been working with each other on other projects, and look, we're back at it again, man.
Do it, baby. It was a lot of fun, but I figured we're coming back with something new. Why the heck not change the name up? So we went from Bats, Balls, and Belts, BB and B, no BBB. We know why. Bats, Balls, and Belts. And we're going to change it up to Triple B 2.0 with it being 2020. We got to make people smile. We got to have a little bit of sports fun, G? So we're bringing that back.
Yes, sir.
We got the new name, and we got some new faces. We got my dude, George Acholo over there. George, what's cracking, my brother?
What's up?
Got all that Lakers
stuff. What's going on?
I'm loving it. And we even
thanks for having me.
That's right, bro. Welcome to the family, dude. You're my Orca family, but this is our Triple B family. And then down in the corner, we got the coach of the Oxnard Orcas, Coach Don Wayrick. Let's do this, you guys. What's going on, Coach? All right. One thing you don't know about Coach is he was an avid baseball player, and he knows his baseball history as well. So you're going to learn that as well. All right, gentlemen.
Let's get into it, man.
Yeah, buddy. Let's have some fun. All right, so in this show, we literally talk about everything and anything. I want to start off with a little MLB, if that's cool. MLB announced this week the Hall of Fame class, the possible Hall of Fame candidates. The first ballot, which means their very first time on, we got Mark Burley, who's thrown some no-hitters, AJ Burnett, who is a multiple-time All-Star, Michael Kadire, who is also a multiple-time All-Star, former Angel Dan Herron, iffy on that one. LaTroy Hawkins was a closer, middle reliever, all-star. Tim Hudson, I think he's the first ballot Hall of Famer, if you ask me. Our man, Torrey Hunter, first ballot Hall of Famer, multiple-time all-star, he's in. Oramis Ramirez, he's one of the better third basemen in the 90s era. Nick Swisher, he's going to take a few years if he does get in. Shane Victorino, another used to play in the Angels as well, from the Phillies. Might take him a while too. And Barry Zito, I feel Barry Zito will get in, if not this year, maybe a couple of years to that. Coach is a ball player, he knows, and we have our differences on that. So those are our first ballot Hall of Famers. Well, let's talk about them a little bit. Coach, you're shaking your head. Tell me why not Zito, and then who you think will get in, if anybody, from the first ballot.
Well, I just think it's a poor class as far as like top players and automatics. There's a lot of good players, but the Hall of Fame is meant for the best players in the history of baseball. Barry Zito had a couple good years with Oakland, but he wasn't a top pitcher. He was never the best pitcher in the league. Hudson was a better career, but even him, he didn't have a long enough career to make it worthwhile. But out of all those guys, I think Torrey Hunter is the only one that I would vote for, and that was because of his defense and longevity and the person he is. Because supposedly the Hall of Fame character, even though there's a lot of bad dudes in the Hall of Fame, but
we'll get into that.
Torrey Hunter is on and off the field, but I could see nobody getting in from the first ballot, waiting a couple years. But Torrey Hunter, out of all those guys, will be the first one.
Yeah, I met Torrey personally working at Angel Stadium. He's an amazing guy, but he's amazing on the court. He was Spider-Man, man. He was Spider-Man. I still remember that All-Star game.
That's when Barry Bonds in the All-Star game.
That was it. I was literally going to that. I was going to that right now. That's right.
Yeah, his son's playing in the pros now too. So
yeah, he's in the Angels organization, isn't he? I'm pretty sure he is.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. So actually, we saw him in spring training, didn't we, G? Torrey Hunter Jr. Yeah, we saw him in spring training.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, so he's an up-and-comer. I mean, him and Adele, if they don't get traded, they could be the outfield of the future. George, I don't know if you're a baseball guy at all. You can shake your head no if you aren't.
I'm not really a
Do you know any
big
of these
fan,
names?
but I watch like the big games.
Okay.
Like the only baseball players I know is like Barry
Well,
Bonds.
we'll get to that.
Two players on the Dodgers, which is Cody Bellinger.
Oh, gee. He
Yeah.
sounds like you when you first came on. When I brought Gilbert on the
Right?
very
Yeah,
first
I
time,
don't
all
watch
he
a
knew
lot
was
of
basketball.
baseball.
Yeah, when I brought G on originally on Basketballs and Belts, all he knew was basketball, but he got better as he went along. So, G, do you recognize any of these names? Do you feel any
Yeah.
of these names should go in?
Oh well, like Coach said, the real name, the only name that really stands out to me was Torrey Hunter, and that's not to discount any of the other guys, but like Torrey Hunter, he had a long run in the MLB,
Yeah.
in the sense that he did with just the Angels, the Minnesota,
The Twins.
with all the teams, man.
Yeah,
Like
Twins
he
and the
just
Tigers.
left a stamp in the MLB.
Mhm.
And Tigers as well, exactly. But you know, another name that stands out to me is also Shane Victorino, because he also played with the Dodgers towards the end of his career, and I believe he did have a big part in that run that they had as well. So I don't know. To me, the MLB is different from when it comes to the Hall of Fame, just because
Mhm.
all the players that end up doing steroids and then still make it to the Hall of Fame, and then I don't know, man. I don't know how that's possible for people to do.
All right. Well, you know what? Since you're talking about that, let's move on to the people that are returning, because there are some steroid era people that are going to be named. You got people like Mike Piazza, who I personally don't think took anything, and he got in. You know, you got Pudge Rodriguez, should be in, best catcher ever since like Johnny Bench. I think he should be in. You know, he hasn't got in, but he will soon, hopefully. But here are some of the returning names that we got. We got Bobby Abreu, Phillies, Angels. Andy Pettit should be in. He admitted to taking stuff, and he came clean, and he took his punishment. And personally, I think he should get in. Sammy Sosa, I don't know. We'll get into that. Andrew Jones, youngest guy to hit a home run in the World Series for years. Jeff Kent, not a big Giants Dodgers guy, so y'all can jump in on that one. Let me see. Manny Ramirez, a lot of trouble off the field, some trouble on the field, so I don't know. Todd Helton, one of the best first basemen ever in baseball. You know, underrated first baseman, if you ask me, multiple-time All-Star. Gary Sheffield, one of the wildest swings you'll ever see in your entire life, but he always got the ball. Billy Wagner, 102 miles an hour. Dude's like 5 foot nothing. One of the best pitcher closers in my mind. Scott Rowland, Cardinals, Phillies, again, one of the best third basemen that were out there. Omar Vizquel, another super small guy, Latino, Venezuela, I believe. Switch hitting shortstop. He should have been in the Hall of Fame last year, if you ask me. Now, here we go. Barry Bonds, Kurt Schilling, and Roger Clemens. Let's go. Yeah, we'll get into that in a minute. Barry Bonds, I talked to Coach about this. Barry Bonds was a Hall of Famer before he went to the Giants and all this controversy started. Coach, how do you feel about Barry Bonds? He's only got a couple years left. Do you think he's going to get in?
Yeah, just thinking of Barry Bonds, that whole class that you just said is better than anybody on the first ballot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely.
A lot of them aren't in. Barry Bonds was a top 5 player of all time before steroids.
Mm-hmm.
He was right there with Griffey for me, and Willie Mays, and they would have went down as that class. The only reason he did is because Sosa and McGuire were getting all the hype. So he was like, oh, okay, if they're going to get all the hype and all the money, I'm going to show them what I could do with steroids, and then he blew everybody out of the water. But the fact that dude would get one pitch to hit a game, maybe,
Mm-hmm.
and that's not steroids.
Yeah.
He has the quickest bat, best eye control, best defense. He's the best defensive left fielder ever, best arm. He's the top 5 player all time. I don't care, and he's the biggest Bonds fan.
Yeah.
But you can't lie, and you can't say he's not the best player. One of the top 3 players of all time. Clemens
I
is
agree.
in the same boat.
Was he ever proven that he took? I know a lot of people in the report.
He never admitted to it, either one, but both of their trainers have admitted to stuff to save themselves from prosecution. But
of course.
it doesn't matter. The whole 90% of baseball was using at that time.
Yeah.
So put an asterisk on it, but they should be in.
I agree.
You know, that was a season of baseball where, you know, like Bagwell got in, but Bagwell definitely took.
Oh, definitely. He went from like,
but he was never proven.
Yeah.
So, you know, like those guys should be in. Pettit should be in. Manny should be in. He's one of the hitters before everything. He's crazy, but he's one of the best right-handed hitters.
that's my thing though. If you do things off the field, I get you should be in trouble, but should that affect your Hall of Fame status? They always say Hall of Fame status are about the numbers. If that was the case, Barry would be in, Rocket would be in, and some guy named Pete Rose would have been in a long time ago. I'm just saying. What do you think about that, G?
Definitely. And I was just gonna ask you guys, like, do you guys ever think that MLB will just allow the players to do steroids? Just because, I mean, like Coach said, there's not at a point there was 90% of the players doing it already. You know what I mean? So I don't know if they'll allow it, but I mean that's so crazy just to think about how the whole league was doing that at a point of time. And yeah, it's crazy because I grew up seeing Barry Bonds, and that guy was just an amazing player. You see him play, and like Coach said, he just it wasn't the stories. It's just the way he plays, man. That's just him, and he was great.
Look at I always say this. You guys can agree to disagree if you want. Steroids make you stronger. They don't help your hand and eye coordination. They don't help your balance, but you need all the above to hit a home run. I'm just putting it out there. What do you guys feel? George, how do you think you feel on that? On any
It
Well,
turns
go
I
ahead.
mean-
a ball to a homer.
Say that
Yeah,
one.
it just turns a D5 to a homer. It turns a double into a homer.
Yeah.
But you got to make contact. Barry Bonds had the best eye contact, and Tony Gwynn in the history of baseball, and he had the quickest bat.
Yeah.
The dude would have he had like a 28-ounce bat, which was crazy,
Yeah, it was crazy.
and he choke up on it.
Yeah.
You get one pitch. How hard it is to get one good pitch a game to hit, and he would have missed.
Absolutely.
And he was like 230 times a season, which is
Yeah.
crazy.
Absolutely. George, how do you feel about that situation for any sport?
Well, to answer your question, I mean, like, I think it'll be good to a small degree, but at the end of the day, steroids is drugs. So like, drugs are not really good for you, but you know, like people use it because they think it could enhance their game. But for me, like, I don't really believe in using any type of steroids to like make your game better, because at the end of the day, it's about your skill set. It's not really about like what you use. Like same thing, like when you work out, you know, people like to take
Use steroids.
BCAAs and pre-workouts and stuff. Like, yeah, it's good to some degree, but it's not necessarily gonna like magically make you like the best athlete you could be. So that's just my take on it.
Okay. Go ahead, Coach.
No, I don't think you should punish players. The drug is illegal, but it's not illegal in the world's eyes. So it's like we could take it, but they weren't testing for it. So how can they get punished for something they're not testing for?
Absolutely.
It's just and baseball helped, put a blind eye to the steroid era because they needed it after the strike season, right? They needed to get more ground, and all the chicks did the long ball thing.
Absolutely.
And they turned a blind eye, but now it came out. They're trying to punish people. That ain't right either.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny you say that because they always talk about how they were mad about it, but they always marketed off of it. Look at the Sosa, like you said, Sosa McGuire era, that year that they went to 70. They made all kinds of money, but they didn't do anything about it until like years later. So I totally agree with you. Let's go ahead and jump over from people who are cheating and trying to keep tradition going to things changing. This will be really quick, but Kim Ng, she's the very first ever female general manager, and she got signed by Derek Jeter and the Miami Marlins. George, how do you feel about that?
Say that one more time. Sorry.
Killing me, Smalls. Kim Ing is the
Hello?
very first ever
Can you hear me?
female. Yeah, I can hear you. Very first ever female general manager. She signed with the Miami
Okay.
Marlins. How do you feel like that's good for baseball?
Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, that's pretty. I think it's good for baseball, and then like I'll take it one step further. It's good for like any type of sports because like that just shows like they like this society cares about some type of women empowerment, and like I think we need more women in certain sports like basketball, football. I think it's pretty good for baseball if you ask me.
I agree. Well, look at like Jeannie.
That's
Yeah,
funny
go
that
ahead,
you
go ahead.
mentioned football, George, because the XFL now has a woman that owns the XFL as well, the former wife of The Rock, but they're working as partners. I believe her name is Danny Garcia. I believe that's her name. She's now the owner of the XFL, so that's crazy too. That's
and we got the
first
female.
owner.
Yeah, we also got the female officiating crews in NFL and the NBA. We're gonna have players eventually. I mean, those girls. Have you ever seen USA women's hockey? Those girls are good. They could play for any NHL team with no problem, if you ask me. So, I mean, Coach, you're the only one who didn't respond to this. What do you think?
Well, she's been in baseball forever.
Yeah.
She's part of the Yankee dynasty under Cashman. With the Dodgers for a bit. Ned Colletti actually wanted her to be the GM at the time, but baseball wasn't ready for that. She's earned it, and you know she ran the teams that Derek Jeter was on. So
yeah,
if any female was ever going to be a GM, it was going to be her first.
Yeah, I think it's awesome.
She's Asian and minority. She's the first Asian GM there is too, -4 now. So it's a huge step. You know, when guys limit who they sign based off of gender or race, it limits your pool you can pull from.
Yeah.
So it opens it up to more tools. Like Teresa Witherspoon just got assistant coach job.
I saw that. That was next. I was going to that next.
She was one of the best PGs ever. You know, female or not, she was a beast. And and we're gonna have a female head coach in the NBA soon. So
Becky, I'm pulling for Becky. I want Becky.
Oh yeah, I was just about to. I was actually thinking about that. So when you mentioned that because I think Becky Hammond will do an excellent job wherever she coaches because she worked under Greg Popovich, and I'm pretty sure Greg Popovich was just showing her like the ropes and everything. But then again, she did play in the WNBA, so and she was a point guard, so she knows a thing or two about being that that championship caliber coach.
Absolutely.
Not only that, George, but she also coached the summer team, and I believe her team came in first place. And I believe during the offseason,
they won a ring, right?
Yeah. They got the summer league championship.
Yeah, Carrie Lawson's going to be another one that's going to be an NBA coach. Just got the Duke
job. She coaching?
She coached at the Celtics, but she got the Duke head women's job.
Yeah, that's right.
She'll be in the NBA sooner than later too.
Yes, sir. In a nutshell, you guys, women, they're coming and they're going to be running things, you know, business-wise, and they deserve it. If they can do the same damn job, it's simple. They can do the job, let them do the job. And that's for anything, not just sports, you know, and I live by that.
I think it's great.
It just, it's for everything. And then just the women that we had last week for the VBL, some of the women are really good.
They were
like, they're no joke. They're really awesome. So I'm impressed on how everything went out.
Yeah, Jeannie Busby became the first owner.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right. She's the first owner to win a championship.
Yep. And she did a
female owner.
Can I just say this? Can we get the women in the WNBA a higher payroll?
I agree.
Because really, they're not making that much money. And I think they deserve a higher payroll than what they're getting now.
Because I think they just got to bring in more money, though. People try to compare one team versus another, like the soccer team.
Yeah.
The soccer team, the men's soccer team. The women's soccer team actually brings in more money than the men. So that's a good more balance. But with the NBA is not making money. The WNBA is not making money. They're slowly getting there. They just need to get more backing, and then they can pay their players. Because if it wasn't for the NBA backing them financially, they would have folded like 10 years ago.
Absolutely.
You know, in order to pay the players more, they got to get more sponsors. They got to get more fans.
Yeah.
NBA guys backing them like Kobe did. And a lot more NBA guys are doing that, but it's got to be a lot more. And then they could end up paying more.
And it's weird because I believe the WNBA, they have like star players. Like you look at the WNBA, they have Diana Taurasi, Maya Moore,
Sue
Candace
Bird.
Parker, and
Yeah.
like they still the stadiums don't fill up, and I don't know why. I mean, I seen a couple of games, I watched a couple of games, and it's entertaining to me, but I just don't understand why the stadiums can't fill full capacity, man.
Traditionalists. If you ask
Yeah.
me, I think
Well,
it's
if you like real basketball, you'll play female the WNBA.
Mhm.
If you're just watching basketball for highlights,
Mhm.
then you're not gonna enjoy it. It's that simple.
Yep.
Yeah, because like the women now, like they play fundamentally sound basketball, so they play how the game is supposed to play. Like for us guys, like yeah, like Coach said, like they like to do highlights, they like to be on Sports Center, they like to do something spectacular. So like I think that's why more fans are going to more NBA games than WNBA games.
I
But
agree.
I think if you ask me, like I'll go to like more WNBA games than NBA games.
Mhm.
Not to discount like what NBA did, but it's just that yeah, like we just need more women in the world that could do just as much as the guys do, and
Mhm.
that's like a pretty beautiful thing.
I agree. You want someone who's gonna leave a strong legacy. Like I said, if we can get Becky Hammond to be the first one to, if she gets a ring, oh
Hmm.
my God, that would be amazing. So I want to jump over, much love to the ladies out there. We got, our own Doc. She was in the freaking VBL. That was awesome.
Oh
I
yeah,
want to
she
give,
was.
yeah, exactly.
I
So
haven't
we're
made her a
talking.
video.
Yeah, it was awesome. We'll talk about that on Double Dribble later, right after the show. Just saying.
Gotcha.
I want to talk about legacy, and we got four coaches. I'm going to talk about baseball coaches. We're going to talk a couple more minutes baseball, and then we'll jump into the NFL. Tommy Lasorda, unfortunately, went to the hospital this week, age 93. He's getting up there, guys. I mean, I just want to send my personal prayers out to Tommy. I've met Tommy as a kid. I met Tommy when I was working Angels game last year. I actually guarded the bathroom while he was in the restroom. I walked him out. I mean, funny stories you could tell about Tommy. He's just an awesome guy. There's no other way to put it. I mean, Coach, I'll let you go first. What's something you can tell me about Tommy that just memories, something you'll never forget about Tommy?
Well, as like a Dodger fan, it's Vin Scully bleeds the Dodger blue more than anybody else, and he's been around the team since before they moved to LA.
Mm-hmm.
I think he started in like 1940 or 1950, just right before, right after Vince Scully did. So he's battled health issues forever. He's had at least 4 or 5 close death experiences. So if anybody's going to fight through it, he will. But he's just a legend in LA, not just in LA, but Dodger baseball
Absolutely.
and baseball in general.
Like I said, if
And just hearing recapping about the Dodger years, like the 88 and the 81 championships and all his battles with the Yankees, that's what baseball is to me.
mm-hmm.
That's why I love baseball. So
Yeah. And he's just a nice guy. If you've had the honor of meeting Tommy Lasorda, he's just a funny, nice, humble dude, He's got that big Italian like nose and the belly, but he's so nice. And he always has time for kids, no matter what. I noticed he was so tired. This game went extra innings. Tommy was so tired. His handler was helping him get out to the parking lot. He was almost to the gate, and this kid ran up to him. You know what he did? He stopped. He turned around. He gave him a hug. He took a picture with this kid. He didn't have to. He was almost to the gate, and that's the Tommy Lasorda that I'm pulling for. That's the Tommy Lasorda that I've met personally, that I know. The Tommy also that doesn't let no one push him around and, knows what he has to do. I.e. Kirk Gibson, game 1, 2 messed up knees, brings him in, gets the game-winning home run. Tommy's a smart dude. So prayers.
well, the best part is, he's such a nice guy. You said, but when you get him onto the baseball field, he'll cuss anybody out. The stories that the players tell about him cussing out players and chewing out, and the reason all the players say the reason why they won the '88 championship is because one of the announcers said that the Dodgers were the worst team to ever make the World Series.
Wow.
So he brought that up. Bob Costa said that. So Bob Costa, to this day, Lasorda, every time he sees Costa, he'll say thank you.
Yeah.
That's how they won the championship because that motive. Oh yeah, we're the still worst team that will ever win the World Series.
There's your motivation
So,
right there.
You know,
Yeah, I mean,
the stories that go on and on.
Isn't Bob Costa an NBA analyst or was for the
He
NBC?
was.
He's done everything.
yeah, he does everything.
He's probably top 5 ever of all time. Just announcers.
Olympics, he's done everything. So okay, so
Well,
we
you
go,
gotta throw,
go ahead.
no, go ahead, Ricky. I was about to get off topic. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I want a lot of time for NBA, so I want to go ahead. We're gonna jump off this. We're gonna go from one guy who's got legacy to a dude who's in the Hall of Fame, Tony La Russa. This will be quick. We don't have to really talk about this, but it kind of bothers me that he gets a job. He comes out of the Hall of Fame. He gets a job, and then all of a sudden, this DUI story comes out about him. You know, yes, we know Tony's been in trouble before, but why does the story have to come out right after he gets hired? You know, could that be, publicity? Could that just be someone trying to catch a story? And he's admitted to doing that stuff and he's done his time for it. And then another one comes out. It's like, as a coach, wouldn't that drive you nuts, Don? If something like that, I know never would happen to you, but something in your past comes out and people try to use it to make you lose your job.
Yeah, there's two things, right? In the past, that's different, but this was just recently in the last few months.
Didn't they say 2019, didn't they?
No, that was another one. So it happened in February this year, and then I believe another one a couple months ago. So Tony La Russa is a great coach, right, on the field.
Mm-hmm.
He's been caught up in all, he's had at least 2 or 3 DUIs, which I can't, that's one of my pet peeves. I can't stand. Drew lost his best friend 2 months ago to a DUI. He was killed by a drunk driver. And so that's what I won't put up with. But he's been involved with a lot of teams that cheated.
Yeah, true.
Cheated, from every place he's been. He's had an issue with the A's, the Cardinals got caught up, and then the White Sox the first time. So he's just not a good dude. Everything I've heard, he's done a lot of good things coaching wise, but how many times are they going to? But the White Sox should have done their due diligence and got in front of it. They had to know this has happened, and they know it's going to come out. Mm-hmm. So if you're you address it right away before it comes out. Mm-hmm. It's their own fault for not doing it up front.
Yeah. So with that said, AJ Hinch, Alex Cora, we're both on the 2017 Astros that screwed your Dodgers 2 years in a row, or 1 year, 2017, and then Cora went to the Red Sox in 2018 and did the same damn thing and screwed you guys in 2018. Both of those men are now hired. They did their 1 year suspension. They both are hired, and Alex Cora is going back to the Red Sox. They both say that they're clean, that they're not doing that anymore. How do you feel about them getting hired so quickly when they came back, Coach? And then, G, I'll go to you after.
I just think none of the players got suspended. Yeah. So why should the coaches? Alex Cora and Carlos Beltran were the 2 guys running it.
Yeah.
Hinch should be. He did his punishment. Like him, I put him on a different area because I don't think he's actually doing it. Based off everything I've read and heard, he just didn't address it, which he should have. Which he did his punishment. He got a job, a new team. Cora and Beltran, they should be banned, if not multiple years. The Red Sox knew this was going to happen. They were going to kick him out for a year and bring him back. They knew from the beginning. They were just doing it for publicity.
Of course, it's possible.
And he should not be. And I love Cora because he was a Dodger, and I loved how he played. And he did it with 2 different teams. The Red Sox wasn't as drastic and as much, but he should get like a 5-year suspension. But they should be. I'm all about second chances, but he should have got a little bigger punishment than Hinch. Yeah. And the fact that no player got suspended, that's where I have a problem with.
Yeah, and they're fake. Fake ass apology. Sorry, I do
have something to say about this Astro situation. Like, I'm not a big baseball fan, but I did watch what happened. So yes, like Dodgers should have won that series. Like, they had like the best record that year. But I think, like, I'll take it a step further. I think they should be strapped from their championship. I know they're not going to do
go.
that, but I think that's what they should do because like one game suspension isn't enough because like like they come back. But then like what coach said, like the players should deserve a suspension. Like I mean, like I don't get why they didn't get punished because the way they got punished, I just don't agree with it personally. Because if you ask me, like like they all say, cheaters never prosper.
Yeah, well, I agree with you. G, I'm gonna go to you. I promise. I agree with you to a point. They took on management. All they did was take out management because they're not going to get rid of Altuve. They're not going to get rid of Springer. They're not going to get rid of Correa. They weren't going to get. MLB knew what they were doing. They were, go do your fake apology, and we'll give you a slap on the wrist. And then they lucked out. Nothing to say about COVID, but they had no fans to heckle them all year. And they're gonna get it this year.
Yeah,
it's gonna happen. They should have been.
Yeah, and I saw their apology.
It's fake.
Mm-hmm.
Fake. And then you
saw.
Yeah,
and like like you said, I watched their apology, and I definitely did not buy their apology at all.
It's PR.
They weren't sincere.
Total PR.
They weren't sincere. They're doing it for media hype, and I don't know. Like, what can you say? Like, I just don't accept their apology. It's not sincere. Like, if I was me and I was management, I would never accepted that.
I agree.
They had to do something more than that to convince the MLB that they're never going to do it again.
Yeah, let's go ahead and let G jump in because we got to get to the NFL. Go ahead.
Well,
Right.
in the words of my wife, once a cheater, always a cheater. Just throwing that out there. No, but I just want to throw my 2 cents in the pot, man. I don't know why the MLB doesn't take a higher approach on this situation like this, man. If you're gonna allow teams to cheat, you're pretty much letting them do whatever they want, And then once they do get caught, you're not gonna give them a long time suspension, like Coach mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how is that fair to the other teams? And now these two coaches are gonna be coaching again after this stint that they did, man. Like, that's not right. I feel like they should have been at least banned for life or at least 5 years, 10 years.
I think 5 years would be good. Personally.
5 years might be appropriate.
I just think that this was a slap on the wrist.
Yeah.
Red Sox got nothing. They got nothing. I think they got fined. Like, it's really stupid. I'll just cover real quick the other two stories. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, not to cut you off for a little bit, just for my 2 cents. Those coaches shouldn't have a job right now.
Right?
It all depends.
Those owners shouldn't have a job right now.
Well, the owners are gone. The owners got fired.
Oh, they are? Okay,
the
cool.
Coaches are the ones that got jobs after a year off. So I'm going to jump into 2 real quick stories. Robinson Cano should have been in the Hall of Fame. I think he's done. He just got his second PED positive, so now he's out for the year. I'm idiot. Should have been in the Hall of Fame within the next couple of years. First ballot, no problem. Now he's screwed. Ken Griffey Jr. just bought a part of the Seattle Sounders, really awesome soccer team. So Griffey getting in the ownership role as well. Griffey was, like Coach said, Griffey was one of the best. Yes. And shout out to Ken Griffey Jr. for putting his name out there again. So we're talking about the best. We got to talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers right now, and it hurts because they beat my Titans a couple weeks ago. The Steelers are still undefeated. It's crazy. Gee, what do you got with the Steelers?
The Steelers, man. Nobody really expected them to go this far in the season undefeated. And now that they are, wow, you just gotta watch out for them, bro. Mm-hmm. Big Ben is back.
Mm-hmm. Big Ben's not messing around. Coach, you got anything on the Steelers?
I'm just glad Fran's not on this meeting. We would have to hear from him because he's a Steelers fan. But the Steelers are one of the best ran organizations. Tomlin is one of the best coaches. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. Mm-hmm. When they're healthy, they're amazing. They do their thing, and they only have 2 tough games left. The Ravens, who they owned the last couple years.
Pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So if they get through those 2 games, they can maybe be undefeated going into the playoffs.
Yeah, but there was another team that was undefeated going into the playoffs, and they lost to Eli Manning. I'm just saying.
That's what I'm rooting for.
Speaking of him, let's get into that. Now, bro, you know
Patriots, Tom Brady.
Yeah. Speaking of Tom Brady, the Brady bunch is not happy in Tampa right now. They have been winning a few games, but they've been really struggling. Brady is definitely not happy. I've seen him throw tantrums already. I've seen him sit by himself on the bench. He is not happy. Gronk was getting a multi-million-dollar deal from Vince McMahon in WWE, and he went to join Brady. They're still struggling. And then they bring Antonio Brown out of nowhere, and he's struggling. And they're supposed to be the three-headed monster in Tampa. Like, what the hell, G? What do you got on that?
I love it. I love it.
Bet
That
you
just
do.
goes to say that that just goes to say you can't throw a group of great players into one team and just expect that team to be great. It's not like that. It's gonna take time. You gotta build it. For example, look at my Lakers. They didn't go to championship in 1 year, man. They build it, and I like it. But at the same time, come on, man. Tampa Bay. You know what you're getting yourself into when you sign Tom Brady. You know what I mean? You wanted a great quarterback, and you have him. Now you gotta make the best out of it. You gotta see what you can do.
I think that what they're thinking was when they brought him in was, okay, we got all these up and coming kids that are doing really good. Let's bring in the GOAT, and the GOAT can be that mentor, that coach-like figure on the field. And then when he came, Gronk was like, oh, my buddy's there. I'm gonna go there. I'm already in Florida with WWE anyway. I'm just gonna go to Tampa. And then Antonio Brown's like, hey, Tom, what the heck, and now they're still struggling. So I just think that's funny. Coach.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you just don't bet against Brady though in the playoffs. Like, come on, they all year and Brady's gonna pull it out, but it's mainly the coach. Arians is stuck in his throw downfield, but Brady can't. He's not that guy anymore. They run the ball. Even with the Patriots, I heard a stat the other day when they ran 30 or more times a game, he's like 57-3. So like run the Fournette, they got Ronald Jones, 2 good running backs. They got McCoy still, so they got 3 really good running backs. Run the ball and then they can dunk. So that unless Arians change, they're gonna have a new coach next year.
Yeah, I hope so.
Tom.
Well, George, you were next. George was next.
And then piggyback on
Coach. George was next. George was next. Go ahead.
Go ahead, George.
No, just to piggyback what GA said about the Lakers. Like, look how the Lakers turned out when they had Dwight Howard, Pau Gasol, Kobe Bryant, and Steve Nash. They were supposed to be that super team, right? But then, like, the thing was they had chemistry issues. So with that said, it's like what GA said. Just because you have a good team, you have all these players getting thrown into the mix. Doesn't mean like yes you're good on paper, but it matters what you do on the court or what you do on the field or what you do, because like everybody has to coexist. Someone's gonna have to make certain sacrifices for them to be that player just so that team could go over the top. And that starts with chemistry. If you don't have that chemistry, then chances are you're not gonna win the championship. You're not gonna win the championship, and it's like, like what are you doing? That's what happened to the Clippers this year. Like, look what happened. Like, they had a great bench. They had a great starting 5. They had 2 all-stars in Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. Well, I don't consider Paul George an all-star, to be honest with you. That's just me. But, like, they just had chemistry issues, and it actually showed, like, because good teams are really good at exposing your flaws, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
And I think that has to do a lot with coaching. If your coach can't hold the team accountable for their mistakes, then somebody's not doing their job.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to piggyback off of what Coach said earlier. Don't sleep on Tom Brady in the playoffs. Don't sleep on Tom Brady in the playoffs. Like, if they make it to the playoffs, if they get that team together, they're gonna be dangerous in the playoffs. Because like how Coach said, they have a team, but if they're able to figure it out, you gotta watch out, man.
You want to?
He's the GOAT for a reason.
Yeah, he is the GOAT. But there's another dude who's right behind him. That is, if he's not the GOAT, he's right there. I'm talking about Drew Brees. Okay, you guys heard about Drew Brees. He fractured his ribs, took a couple hard hits. He's out at least for a couple weeks, I believe it is. I know this week they need the new quarterback, and it was between Jameis Winston, who everybody thought was going to get the call, and the super utility player Taysom Hill, and they're going with Hill. I think that's awesome personally. I love Taysom Hill. I know Coach doesn't like it, but I like Taysom Hill because that dude's a freaking brick house, dude. That dude is nuts. I don't think he's got the arm that Jameis does, but it's gonna be nuts. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
he is a
Go-
versatile
let coach
player.
Go. Let coach go. Let coach. Go ahead.
Okay, people, if you can't do, okay, if you're not stuck on one position, that means you can't do anything really that well. You can do a lot of things good, and that's where Hill is. Remember Slash, Cordell Stewart? He could throw 50 yards, he could throw, he could pass, but he didn't do anything that great, and he became a good wide receiver. That's it. I think people get caught up. That dude hasn't even thrown a touchdown pass yet in the NFL. Yeah, he's going to get a start. Jameis Winston, he was the number one pick. He was, he won a championship in college, but he played under Arians, and it's not a coincidence that he struggled. He threw for a lot of yardage, but that he put him in. He made a lot of bad choices, but as a coach, you got to put your players in good positions. And if you know you have a player like that, you got to put them under wraps and structure the plays around something better. I think Peyton would do amazing with Winston, and he would do it the right way.
True.
I would go with Winston and see what you got. You're paying him like $12 million.
True. So we'll see where that goes. Anybody else want to jump on?
From that point of view, I gotta agree with Coach.
Is that all? You got anything else?
That was it.
That's it. Okay. Okay. Well, you
No,
know
that
what
was
we
it,
all
man.
can agree on. Go ahead. Did you have something else?
I thought George was gonna hop in real quick.
George, you have something else?
Oh no. You
Well,
guys are
I
good.
know one thing that all four
No,
of us
I
can
got it.
agree on, and gee, I'm sorry in advance. The NFC East, what the hell, Gilbert? Why is a losing team possibly, or losing record team possibly going to be in the playoffs over a team that has like 3 wins over 500? Talk to me. We got like 3 minutes.
Ricky, ever since I've been a Cowboy fan, there's one thing that I always remember. Even if we don't have a winning record in the NFC East, there's still hope. There's still chance.
I'm sorry.
Hey, the Giants are going to win that division. I'm saying it right now. The Giants are going to be the NFC East champions.
Ooh.
Ooh,
Alright.
that's a dark horse pick, Coach.
I'm just saying.
Okay, Coach. Coach went on
They're
a
the
limb.
team that plays hard. They're the only team that plays defense in that division.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
they're only a game behind.
Yeah.
Our
And
defense is
speaking
bad
of the
this year,
Giants,
man.
they almost beat the Buccaneers. Did you guys see that game? The Buccaneers were struggling.
Like we
Like
just
they
said.
barely beat the Giants. Man,
Yep, like we just said, exactly. All right, so we just
They
got
play
done
hard.
talking. George, you got more?
no. Go ahead.
Okay, cool, because we want to get some NBA fun in. Before I do that, I'm going to jump into the boxing ring real quick. We're talking about things changing, with Taysom Hill and stuff like that, and, Breeze being out and Tampa Bay being the madness that it is. Jump into the boxing ring real quick. WBO, Canelo Alvarez, I believe, is coming back on December the 19th. He's going to face Callum Smith. You guys are talking about Tyson. Holyfield has been calling out Tyson on social media, saying that he's dodging him. Who here, raise your hand, would love to see part 3 of Holyfield Tyson? Right here.
Oh man,
Right here.
most definitely 2 hands for me.
Hell yeah.
2 hands for
Hey, you know
me.
what?
It'd be awesome.
You know what?
Are
I
you
think
kidding
they'll
me?
be. I think they'll be better if they actually settle the differences in a WWE ring, because
Yeah,
Tyson
I
was
agree.
already biting his ear
No.
off, man. Might as well just.
No, because they would make it into too much of a cartoon. Go ahead, Coach.
I'd much rather see that than Roy Jones, because
I agree.
Jones is one of my favorite boxers ever, but he may not walk out of that ring.
Did you see Tyson? Oh my God.
The reason why Jones retired is that his chin went out, right? He couldn't take a, he went down a couple times late, and he's never fought a heavyweight, let alone Mike Tyson. If you see Tyson's sparring sessions recently,
Yes.
no, you couldn't give me enough money to get in the ring with that dude.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. We got about 1 minute left before we hop into the NBA, so we got to get some good time for that. Last thing, UFC. We're talking about jumping back into the boxing ring. How about the octagon? We got the Roger Clemens of the UFC. He's returning again. Conor McGregor is coming back. Another guy I would not want to step in the ring with. January 23rd, UFC 257 against Dustin Poirier. Who's ordering it? Who wants to see it? I want to see it. I don't know if I'm going to order it, though. But I would love to see that match.
I mean, I'll see it the day after.
Yeah.
I'll see it on YouTube.
Go to your buddy's house.
Yeah, my buddy's an MMA agent, so I may, watch the fight with him because he may have a fighter on the card. But man, McGregor's just washed up now. He's on. He couldn't beat the guys that he fought. So.
But I don't know
what it is at this point.
Well, it's sad because you get a lot of players that do that. Like Clemens came back 3 times. Favre played 3 times. I mean, certain players can do it. Certain players cannot do it, and they come back.
Don't get me started on Brett Favre, man.
You know what I mean?
Brett Favre
Roger
is one
Clemens
of my favorite
too.
players of all time.
Who remembers Roger Clemens in Houston? Yes, they went to the World Series, but honestly, he's a Yankee. He's a Red Sox. That's what Roger Clemens was known for. But
who remembers when Brett Favre made that run with the Vikings?
Who is that? Brett Favre? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, when he made that run with the Vikings.
Yeah, I forgot he was.
No, but it's true though. And the Jets. People have.
And they got close to going to the Super Bowl that year.
Bad years. That's all I'm saying. Bad years. Just like the gobbledygooker in Survivor Series. Just throwing a little WWE out there real quick. Survivor Series is this Sunday, 5 o'clock. Raw versus SmackDown. Going to be cool. I think they're setting up for Rock versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. I think it's going to be awesome. We don't have to talk about it. I just wanted to throw that out there. Let's talk some NBA, gentlemen. We got about 20 minutes. Dude.
Finally.
Chino Hills. Hills' own LaMelo Ball going to Charlotte. Gee, you're a Hornets fan. How did you feel?
My man. Yes. It's great, man. At first I thought the Timberwolves were going to take them. And then as soon as I heard that they weren't going to take them, they took Anthony Edwards. I was like, oh, shoot. And then the Warriors didn't take them. And I knew it was a for sure thing that my Hornets were going to get them. Thank God, man.
G had his laptop out ready to order that jersey. He was ready to go.
Yes.
But you do know why LaMelo didn't go number 1 with the Timberwolves, because the Timberwolves already have a point guard in D'Angelo Russell.
Yep.
So why would they need like another point guard?
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
So.
No, but
so that's why they made that pick.
Mm-hmm.
Not only that, I think because you guys were talking about it earlier that Hayward signed with the Hornets, right?
So many big deals went down. Oh my God. Yes, 4 years. This literally happened an hour ago. 4 years, 120 with the Charlotte Hornets.
Oh man,
he's getting that bank. But again, he's kind of scary because he's got that Derrick Rose thing that Thompson has right now. He's a walking injury, and that's liability. It's $120 million.
That's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money.
Go ahead, G.
But as a Hornets fan, it's hard for me to see how that's going to play out on the court, because as of right now, we have young players. We have Miles Bridges, Malik Monk. Now you bring Melo into the fold, and we also have Hayward.
And you also have Graham.
Mm-hmm.
Graham's pretty good too, out of Kansas. I love that dude. I love the way he plays. He could shoot the lights out.
Exactly. So how's it all this gonna play out, man? Who's gonna be playing what? Because I in my point of view, I would rather have Bridges starting over Hayward, just because I want to see what Bridges could make out of himself. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. It's gonna be a weird season, but it's gonna be great to see.
Starting soon. Couple months.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Starting on December 22nd.
That's right. It's going to be awesome. I think it's awesome.
Not even a 2-month time span.
No, it's basically a month from now.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
For the record, G's wearing a Lakers championship. He is a Hornets fan, but he also likes the Lakers. I'm just saving your butt there, G.
That's my team of the East, man.
There you go. The team of the East. There you go. Oh, Coach. What was that for?
Coach has that face.
You can't have team of the East. That's crazy. Celtic fan. Oh, I got the Celtics on the East.
No.
Come on.
That's different. That's different, Coach.
One team.
Coach, I love the Lakers. I grew up watching Lakers. Shaq and Kobe. I seen those championships. I was only 8 years old when that happened, and then I saw the Kobe in 2010 and 09 and 08. And I can't forget about 04 when we had Karl Malone, Gary Payton. Oh my God,
I don't want to talk about 04.
Ever.
Skip over that.
Hey, I'm so glad Ferran's not on here, man, to talk about this, man.
Yeah, that'd be like me saying I'm a Dodger and a Yankee fan. Come on.
Coach, no. Coach, you just gotta back me up on this one, Coach.
All right, I have 2 teams also. but that's in baseball, and it's like I have an NL and an AL team, but my main team is Angels, and then I like the Diamondbacks a little bit.
Okay, GA, who's your main team?
My what?
Who's your main team?
Out of those two, Lakers and the Hornets.
My main team? Okay, well, so this is how I do it. When they play each other, I go for the
We don't
Lakers.
have time for this.
Okay, so you go for the Lakers.
Yes, when they play each
Lakers
other.
are your
Okay,
main team then.
what was that?
So the Lakers are your main team then.
They're my team, my main team. Yes, I guess.
Okay.
Put it like
That's
that.
So you like
That's all he was
Like
saying.
that.
That's all he was
No.
asking.
Okay, so you like the Lakers, you like or love the Lakers, you follow the Hornets. Is that pretty much what it is? Like you enjoy the Hornets because that's how I am with the Diamondbacks, in baseball. So that's what I
I
would.
love the Hornets too, man. Like I just love their history, and I just love how I love their history, man. Like, and they're always an underdog. When you just look at their situation, like when they went to the New Orleans, the 08 Hornets were one of my favorite teams.
With
When they
Chris
had Tyson
Paul.
Chandler,
Mhm.
Chris Paul, Peja Stojakovic.
Oh, still yeah.
That was a nice team right there, man.
Yeah. I
But
get
they
where
don't get
you're
their
coming from.
Mm.
I get where
Yeah.
you're coming from, bro.
So-
I got you.
But for me, it's like I don't like another team. I just like other players.
Okay.
That's for me.
That's different too.
That's different too.
Yeah.
That's okay, I guess.
But
See,
my
like-
main team is the Lakers, but I like other players from different teams as well.
All right.
Like
Well,
I like Tatum, but
players.
I can't like the Celtics.
get
You
off.
feel me?
Get off right now. Get off. Get off. Don't ever say that
You
again.
said Celtics, get out.
Get
Walk
out.
the plank, bro.
Go, all right, coach. Go
No,
ahead,
but
coach.
how can you
Either-
not like Tatum? He's like, look
That's
at his.
different.
Tatum is a good player,
Yeah.
but like he's a Celtic, bro.
But that's different.
Bro.
You just said the Celtics. You didn't say Tatum. There's a big difference in what you're saying.
Yeah, there's a big difference.
Make sure you know your words. Coach, you had something, and then we're going to jump into the Lakers.
GA is backtracking right now, but that's
Yeah,
fine.
he is.
I think we need to go on to another topic that we all is like how good the Lakers are doing this offseason.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes,
Let's jump to
let's
that.
get to that.
We won the free agent.
Come on, Ricky, get us started.
Bro, I'm going to let Coach do it. He's bringing us in. Let's do it. What? So
Oh,
many
come on,
good deals
Coach.
for the Lakers. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. So many.
We signed Dennis Carter, or I've heard his name said like 800 different times, different ways. He should have been the sixth man of the year last year.
Who?
We wanted 3 years ago, and we finally got him. He's going to take over a lot of the load for Braun. Save on some. He's a scoring threat. He'll be the third option after AD and Braun. And if Rondo takes off, he's going to fill all that his spot too.
Mhm.
And then we got Wesley Matthews, who's a good defensive shooter,
I like
a
it.
better version of Danny Green. And then now we got Harrell, who's a better version of Dwight Howard. More stuff.
Yo, Don, I
That's
saw
a
that
big deal
picture.
right there.
I saw that picture of
That's a
Montrezl
big-
Harrell, bro.
We were
Hey,
teammates.
man.
We were teammates.
Yo, speaking of Montrezl Harrell, I have a quick story. So 2 years ago, right before Montrezl Harrell signed with the Clippers, right? He actually went to the LA Fitness I went to here in Northridge, here in the Valley. So like I was just playing ball and I see this tall guy. I'm like, yo, who's that? And then like I looked at him again. I was like, hey, that's Montrezl Harrell. He's signing with the Clippers. So we talked to him. I talked to him, and he was a cool dude, man. So props to him of being in LA.
Yeah, he looks
Speaking
good
about the
with goal,
Clippers,
he's
I think that was a big blow to them. Now that he's signing with the Lakers, man.
Yeah, that's a
Did
huge
you-
loss for the
who,
Clippers because that's their third best player in the Clippers.
Yeah. There's so many
Definitely.
other huge.
I love the moves that Lakers are making right now. They're getting young talent into the groove, man. It's gonna be nice to see how it plays out this year. I just want AD to sign that contract
I was
already,
going
though.
to that next.
For
You read my
real.
mind. What are we going to shell out for him, G? What would you shell out for him? 5 years, 6 years? What would
Whatever
you
he
drop
wants.
on him? Whatever he wants, blank check?
Well, I think the options right now is that the 2 years, I think, and the big contract, which is 5 years. I'm not sure, right? I think those are like the two main options that he's looking at. But if I was him, I'll just do the 2 years, man. Just
Yeah, we'll see.
because I would want to see what the Lakers could bring after those 2 years. If they could bring me another superstar or not. You know what I mean?
That's smart.
Because LeBron's contract is up in 2 years.
Yeah.
No,
That's
for
smart. Let
nearly,
Coach go.
yeah.
He had his
Go
hand
ahead.
up. He had his hand up.
The worst thing that he could do is, the worst thing that he could do is sign a 5-year deal, because 2 more years he could sign the Supermax, right?
Yeah.
He signed a 5-year deal now. He's costing himself at least 30 mil,
Right.
overall. So he's going to sign a 2-year deal. That's going to sync up with a 1-year option. So it's a 3-year deal, but that co-syncs with Braun's deal. So Braun would be done, depending on what he does. So so AD would be, it'd be the dumbest decision to sign for more than 2 years, because you don't know what Braun's going to do. You don't know what's going to happen. Sign the 2-year deal, then he can sign for the Supermax.
Yeah.
And make it 50 mil plus a year.
Yeah.
I gotta ask you guys a question real quick.
Go ahead.
Do you guys think Giannis is going anywhere once the season is over, or do you think he's staying? What do you guys think?
You mean once next season's over?
Like at the end
Yeah,
of this season,
because his
right?
contract is up.
Yeah,
Oh
no,
yeah, after this season, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it just depends. I honestly, 2 things. It depends on what the Bucks are bringing into the organization, because, like, they were supposed to bring Bogdanovich to their squad, but then, like, something happened because, like, NBA is now under investigation on what went down.
Mm-hmm.
And then another question is, like, with the players that they got now, can they run it back to to come out the East? Because the East is getting tougher. It's going to get tough right now, because Brooklyn's coming. Brooklyn's going to be a great team with Kyrie Irving coming back, Kevin Durant coming back. They possibly could get James Harden, but it just depends on how they could coexist on their or on their organization.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to look at other teams like Toronto. Of course, I'll put Toronto in the mix too.
What you mean,
Like there's just, and then the Miami Heat came out the East too. So there's like other factors that has to happen in order to say like, hey, like, okay, I think Giannis might be leaving or Giannis might be staying.
And there's
So
still,
I can't really say right now what he's gonna do.
There's still
It's
might be
really up in the air right now.
Yeah, there's still going to be some major deals that are going down. I mean, free agency just started. There's still
Exactly.
we say 2 months,
So, I mean,
a month and a half.
Just depends what Milwaukee's gonna do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Speaking about the Heat and the Nets just re-signed Joe Harris to a big deal. I believe it was 4 years.
Okay.
And they the Heat also re-signed Goran Dragic.
Yeah, they did.
And I think who else did they get? Leonard's. Myers Leonard's. They re-signed him as well. I believe so.
Yeah.
I believe so. So
I mean,
we'll see. We'll see what happens this year.
Do you guys think, because of the fact that it is only 2 months away, all the wheeling and dealing is going as fast as it is? What do you think, Coach?
Yes.
I just think they know everything's wide open because, there's no fans. So anybody has a chance. They saw what Miami did. They saw what Phoenix did in the bubble. The only reason why they got CP3 was because they went undefeated in the bubble. If they didn't have that run, CP3 wouldn't have went to the Suns.
Yep.
So he was able to do that. Portland did their thing, and now they've done, besides the Lakers, I think they've had the best offseason.
Yeah, Phoenix did some stuff.
They got Cantor back, who's underrated as a center.
Mm-hmm.
And they picked up Covington, who's a great pickup.
Mm-hmm.
He's so underrated.
Yeah. We're losing Coach. But I agree. I agree. The wheeling and dealing is just straight up insane right now, and I don't think it's gonna stop. I don't think it's gonna stop.
I also gotta tip my hat off to the Thunder and the Pelicans because they're both making a lot of moves. Look at the Thunder. Look at all the picks they have. I read that they literally have more than 20 picks.
Mm-hmm.
20 picks. That's crazy.
Yeah.
The Pelicans, they just picked up Steven Adams.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's gonna be nice for them, bro. I like that. I like that. That's gonna be a young core right there with Ball, Ingram.
Yeah.
They just gotta resign those guys and Zion. That's gonna be crazy.
Yeah,
that's gonna be crazy.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
I like that.
Zion was a great pickup. He's going to protect Zion because what the NBA is going to do to Zion is beat him up.
Yeah.
Because they want to get posterized, they don't want to get highlighted. So as soon as somebody gets on him, Steven Adams, who's probably the strongest dude in the NBA, physically, is going to protect Zion.
Yeah.
So he could set screens. So yeah, that was a great pickup, and they didn't give up much.
No, they didn't.
No, they didn't.
No, they
They
didn't.
gave up a draft pick that wasn't even theirs. They got him in the Drew Holiday, so because it's a
Wow,
4,
that deal. Those
You
deals
know,
on draft day were confusing. My head was all
so
over the place.
but it's never the why it's confusing is because it's never approved until like a week.
Yeah.
That deal's not approved yet.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that. It's
Mhm.
crazy. Got about 10 minutes, guys. What else? Like we said, Phoenix, Milwaukee's doing some stuff. Philly got Howard. That was crazy because Howard had just tweeted like that morning that he was happy to be here and he wasn't going anywhere. And then boom, we see him in the Sixer jersey. I was like, what?
Yeah, I was actually surprised about that too because, like, bro, like, why would you tweet a deal that's not even done, bro? Like what are you doing? Like, how are you saying like in your head like, okay, I'm guaranteed of signing this Laker deal or something like that, and then like you go ahead and erase it, and then next thing you know, you want to go to Philly. I think that was kind of surprising for me.
Yeah.
My point of view, I kind of.
So I didn't like what Howard did.
I kind of didn't see this one coming because I kind of wanted Howard to come back to the Lakers, but the way Rob Pelinka has been approaching the free agency, I just feel like maybe he just wanted younger players, and him signing Montez Harrell, that's what's it called? That's showing that he did want younger players on the team, and best of luck to him in Philly, man. We'll see what he can do because that's his former. He didn't be playing for Doc Rivers now, right?
Yeah, Doc Rivers, and he
Doc
has Joel Embiid starting.
Yeah, it's a good.
And his former GM's over there too, right? Daryl Morty's over there, right?
Yeah.
That's the former GM, so I don't know how that's gonna work out. Because
the reason why Howard left is that because of Harrell. Harrell was coming, so he would have been fighting for playing time. And the goal for Howard is to get paid next year, right?
Yeah.
So he needs to get more playing time. He's going to get the Sixers because he's going to play with Embiid and backing him up. So it's just him and Embiid over there because they got rid of Horford. So the Sixers have had a pretty good offseason. Danny Green, even though a lot of people, Laker fans, are on him, but he was a good pickup for them. Defense, he could hit a three normally. And
I believe they also got Steph Curry.
Yeah, Steph Curry
just got him.
So they picked him up. That was a huge pickup. And he's married to Doc's daughter.
That's true.
That's gonna be crazy.
It's gonna be interesting.
Right?
Wow.
George.
I think the Sixers are going to be a really nice team to watch.
Yeah, watch out for the Sixers.
Speaking about the Curry brothers, I want to switch gears and talk about the Warriors real quick.
3 minutes.
3 minutes. Okay. With Klay Thompson going down, how do you guys feel about that, man?
That hurt.
Like, that's so. That's
It's
like, oh
sad.
my god, bro.
It's sad. I think I'll give it back to you right now, G. When I heard that, I think I messaged you, and I'm like, dude, it's like the Derrick Rose curse. Like, this kid is so damn good, and he's not getting the opportunities that he deserves because of freaking injury. I'm not even a Warriors fan, and I was hurt, and I felt so bad. Go ahead, G.
No, it just sucks to see that happen to him. He looks like a nice person, great person, and for it to happen to him again after he just came back from it is gonna suck. And it really sucks for the whole NBA community too, because now we're not gonna be able to see the what's it called
Splash Brothers play.
Exactly, the Splash Brothers together, and it just sucks for everybody that's involved, man. It really does.
Yeah, even though I'm not a Warriors fan, I feel for Klay Thompson because he's just coming from an ACL injury, and now he tore his Achilles. So that's going to be like another 2 years for him to like do surgery, do some rehab, and try to get to where he was. But like, yeah, I feel bad for him because now it's going to be bad. Now it's going to be bad for the NBA only because, like you said, like not going to see the Splash Brothers in action because I wanted to see how like the West is going to compete with the Warriors being that caliber, and they drafted Wiseman, which makes them pretty good. So I think with that, like I mean, like this is not good for the NBA right now if
No,
Klay
it's not.
Thompson's out, because Klay Thompson's one of the top shooters in the
Coach had his hand
world
up,
of the
guys.
NBA.
Coach had his hand up. Go ahead, Coach. We got it.
No, Clay's one of my favorite players because he plays both sides of the ball. He's one of the top defenders, which is not talked about because of how well he shoots. But he guarded Kobe better than almost anybody, and he battled, and he guards the best guard to save Curry. Curry wouldn't be where he is without Clay because of he doesn't have to guard the best shooter, the best scorer on the team. But the best part of Clay's game is running off of screens, offensive. You know, like he scored 64 points or whatever and dribbled the ball 5 times a game, which is crazy. 5 times a game. But he's the best shooter in the NBA. I'll argue with anybody about that. He's the best shooter in the NBA, top 5 history already. So he'll always have a place in the NBA because he can shoot. He just won't be the same player defensive-wise that he was. So that's sad to see, but, you know, at least they'll have another weaker year and they can build another draft pick for the Warriors' sake.
And I think that's why the Warriors picked up Kelly Oubre, because of his length to defend too, just to save Curry. So like I think with that, like the Warriors are going to be somewhat of a relevant team to watch, but it just sucks that like we're not even going to see Klay Thompson in action like for at least the next year and a half. So I mean, like that's just sad.
It's
and I
just
hope that he recovers. I hope for a speedy recovery.
Yeah, it's just sad to lose superstars. We're actually out of time. It's just sad to lose superstars. This has happened to so many people in so many different sports. They do awesome, and this kid is still young, and that's what sucks. But then again, he is still young, so
he's about 30,
and it just really sucks. So we're out of time, you guys. First off, I want to thank G for rejoining me, coming back with our new Triple B 2.0. I want to thank George. I want to thank Coach. Our new members got lots of knowledge here. I love the knowledge, different knowledge range of different sports. I love the fact you guys are here. And then we're going to have Doc coming in and join us sometimes. We might even get some players to join us as well. Next week, we still got a lot of free agency for baseball. We got free agency for basketball. We're going to have, December 19th. So the Canelo fight's coming soon. We're going to find out what happened at Survivor Series. Maybe The Rock's going to return. I'm looking forward to what more NBA things are going to go down. Lots of NBA is about to go down more than what already did. And we're gonna cover
maybe the
it.
trades that we talked about today might not.
Yeah.
Maybe the trades that went down today might not be official until.
Yeah, like what Coach was
saying.
saying.
So we'll see.
This offseason is real interesting. So I can't wait until what other teams do.
It's going to be awesome, you guys, and it's going to be cool to be able to cover it. And I love the fact that I don't have to cover it by myself, and I got my boys with me. So thank you so much to Coach. Thank you to George. Thank you to GA. You guys have an awesome rest of your weekend. And remember, whether you're trying to score in life or climb the ladder of success, always reach for the title. Peace out.
And don't cheat.